And we're away and racing here at Anglesey there. Mackenzie Douglas on the inside line, and Nick White trying to find some grip on the outside line, which should be the grippier side of the road in these conditions, but he gets muscled out a little bit by Harry Mangan, who moves up to champions. Callum Noble and Peter Mangan at the back of the field. They round the head, and then at the end of the Tom Price straight, head down, as Scott said earlier on, the old pit straight, and they bear left at the end of it. As we've seen already today, the curbs bite when they are wet. They are very, very slippery indeed. But they both managed to keep the car on the straight and narrow. If anything, Mangan getting slightly away from Nick White through that first sequence of his points for Conor Garlick. And that is an 11-point advantage for Mackenzie Douglas, who already is 21 points in the championship standings. So yes, they're still fighting over a podium, the pair of Garlicks, but they...
Nick White and James Taylor were starting to really amp up the pace, because last time by, it was the fastest second sector of anyone from Nick White. Well, you can say here, there's only 2 sectors, fastest
in the past, back when he was in the Academy Championship, I seem to recall him a few times. I would say that he was not necessarily the most aggressive driver out on track, and he would quite often...
Second, you can see by the body language of that car, Mangan's not comfortable, and he's having to defend very heavily from Nick White in third place.
Yeah, that was all triggered by a little moment that Mangan had turning into the left-hander at the top of the corkscrew. I'm seeing Nick White has got the inside line into turn number 1, but it's not really the best place to be. Hanging on the outside line is Harry Mangan. They are still door handle to door handle as they head for the banking for the last time. Now we go right. That will favour Mangan on the way in.
They're on the timing screen. He did a 1:41, but the timing screen was the fastest lap of the race, which it wasn't. So up towards the hairpin, up the inside, he looks at the peel corner, might be the chance he needs. Side by side on the exit, forcing it to the edge of the road, and Nick White.
His championship lead off the final corner he goes. Checkered flag waves for Mackenzie Douglas. What's going on for second place? Harry Mangan versus Nick White. Mangan holds on the way into the final corner.
Mega drive from you. Conditions changeable during the race, or was it pretty much the same all the way through?
I mean, I don't think conditions changed too much. The start was quite difficult. The tyres took a few laps to come in. Rather close with Harry, I think it was. So yeah, just tyres took 2 or 3 laps to come in, and we just got our heads down and built that gap. And then obviously tyre degradation's massive around here, so managed to just slow it down a bit and keep it within the range. So happy.
Thank you very much.
Best result of the season.
Yeah, really good. Enjoyed it. Well done, mate. Well done. Never been here before until yesterday, so it was a bit of a baptism.
Really?
This weather, but yeah, no, it was a really fun race. Just didn't quite have the pace to go with Mackenzie at the start, but yeah, good fight with Nick, and yeah, really pleased with it.
Again, Nick White, you are the man. We've got cars on the grid for the next race already, but congratulations. What a race with Harry again.
Yeah, it's the first time I've come that length of time wheel to wheel with Harry, but he was so quick off the first lap, sending it in on the brakes, that I had no choice but to give him a bit of a wide berth at the top of the hill. Gathered it together, caught him back up, but he won't make it easy for me, that's for sure.
Next race, you're on pole?
Yeah, overall, yeah, good, yeah. I'm not sure which side's better, to be fair, but if it keeps raining, we might be all right.
We are away and racing here at Anglesey, and it is going to be Nick White versus Mackenzie Douglas into the first corner. Douglas on the outside line, but Nick White stands his ground and does get the advantage of the race. And Luke Garlick now actually coming up to challenge Mackenzie Douglas as well, as they head off Church Corner and up the back straight for the first time of asking. And Luke Garlick suddenly challenging for second place, and therefore the class lead.
Worked together and found some more pace in the setup. Whatever direction they went has really worked out. In fact, more than worked out. It was that spinner at the exit of the banking. I saw a car possibly facing the wrong way. Yes, it was. It was Mangan. Harry Mangan in car 44.
End of the second lap of the race then, down into the bus stop. And Nick White no longer with the race lead, but again, to put this into context, he still leads in the class. That's all that really matters from a point scoring perspective. And so as they round turn number 1, he may have lost a couple of positions overall, but still scoring reasonably well. Very well, in fact, here within his...
A bit closer in sector 2. The gap is at the end of that second lap was 0.879 of a second. We'll see if it's still that gap or if it's stabilised or gone out and come back in again as they come across the line. Answer is it's gone out to 1.
Overall goes into rocket out on the tighter line, which you think might yield an opportunity for Conor Garlick to get the better exit speed, but not quite going to work out that way. And Peel Corner they go. Race 1, they're 37.5, so very similar lap times actually, even though it seems a lot wetter out there at the moment. They are running very comparative lap times there. Meanwhile, Conor Garlick up the inside of Nick White has got into third. He's past Nick White, although Nick, in fairness, trying to come back at him here.
He was. Conor was a bit deep into the hairpin, and actually Nick tried to come back at him on the exit.
The way of Harry, understandably, I suppose. but it would have been nice to see these two go toe-to-toe for a little bit. But anyway, Harry Mansion slips through and up now into 7th place.
Could essentially become a three-way fight for the lead, and that is Luke Garlick. Luke Garlick from 2nd place down the corkscrew. Now, I presume he would have been on his own and did that, because I'd usually pose the question.
Only by, again, about 2 Oh, that's Conor Garlick! Oh no, Conor Garlick off now. So forget that, he wasn't catching the leader. He's pulled over there, I think, on the exit of Rocket, I reckon that is, or Peel maybe, exit of Peel.
Making 2 from 2, and going to Sunday with a very healthy haul of points and another extension of his championship lead.
It's going well, isn't it, for Mackenzie Douglas? About the only one it is going well for, really. Out of the final corner he goes, crosses the line, and Mackenzie Douglas wins.
This is, I guess, a nice habit to have, isn't it? The interview, A for being fastest in qualifying, race 1 win, and now race 2 win. Summarise your day for us.
I mean, it's gone pretty well, so I know, massive thanks to the team. Only half the job's done, and we got to do the same thing again tomorrow, so yeah, really happy, and this puts us in a good place for tomorrow. Straightforward
race. I mean, last time I looked at the TSL on my mobile, you were 13 odd seconds clear.
It wasn't straightforward, especially at the start. Obviously, Nick stayed in front, had a hard time from Luke, but yeah. I think once the tyres got in their window again, we just got our head down, and I think Luke made a mistake further back, I'm not too sure, but I think that sealed the deal, and then looked after the tyres for the rest of the race then.
Again, 2 out of 2 for this weekend, and continuing the form we've seen from you this weekend. But what's it like out there?
Yeah, it's pretty miserable. I'm well pleased to come home with the AM win and 2nd overall, people falling off the track, but the car was just not under me, to be honest with you. I had nothing to give. Mackenzie was so fair to me on the first couple of laps. You know, he was biding his time, but not even a single, touch when he could have easily given me a little nudge if he wanted to. So, yeah, hats off to him. And, coming back P2 with how the car was handling, I'm over the moon with that.
Mackenzie Douglas hunting for another race victory then. Mackenzie 7 times a winner already this year. He begins his pursuit for an 8th with a brilliant start, leads the field into target corner for the first time, pretty uncontested. Luke Garlick, the inside line now heading up towards Rocket for the first time. Some late braking should see him hold on to 3rd position. Is that going to be the case? Yes, it is. So Conor Garlick hanging on to 3rd, and Nick White slotting in behind. Harry Mansion back though. Mansion back under threat now from James Taylor. He's got that inside line into the hairpin, and James Taylor will reclaim that position.
Not the best start for Harry Mansion, it seems. He's still got Matt Shaw on his tail behind him as well. Towards the hairpin, he's got the inside line, White showing his nose. Taylor's trying to outbrake himself a little bit, holds on to the place, and now this forces.
Yesterday anyway, but I don't know, just the dry setup on Douglas's car just doesn't seem to be working quite as well as the wet one, does it? Again, has to defend into Rocket, couldn't quite get the car turned through the left-hander. That puts him offline then.
I think he's vindicating that. Brilliant drive once more.
Continuing to have the time of his life here, isn't he? North Wales claims another win, his 3rd of the weekend. Luke Garlick in the end, 2.7 seconds back in 2nd. It's just about Conor Garlick.
Conor, I think it's the first time I've managed to do a podium interview with you, so great for me, well done.
Yeah, definitely a bit of better luck than yesterday. Glad to be on the podium.
Great to turn these things around, isn't it? I suppose better having any negativity on day 1 and go away with positives. Looking forward to the next event, which is Snetterton.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to Snetterton. Should hopefully be a nice dry weekend and should be fun.
But Luke, great to see you. Well done, 2nd place, and getting in the direction, you and your brother, in the direction that you need to go.
Yeah, already more points than yesterday, so only on the up from here, hopefully, and then going to challenge for the race win in the next race, and then go from there.
Championships are never easy, are they? You can't get complacent.
Obviously not, no, and this won't be easy, but keep the momentum going, as I've said, and it should be good.
The red lights will be extinguished, and we're away in racing for the last time this weekend here in Anglesey. And it is a good start by Luke Garlick, in fairness, on the outside line into target corner, but I don't think he's able to take the fight really to Mackenzie Douglas. Nick White slotting into 3rd. Is he out wide? Goes James Taylor, bounces down the grass, loses a couple of positions, but thankfully doesn't lose control and manages to Mackenzie Douglas with the lead. Here comes Conor Garlick attacking Nick White, who moves to the middle of the road to cover. They all descend upon Rocket. Luke Garlick outbrakes himself, runs out wide, and can Nick White close the door? I think he might be able to. So Nick White sweeps around the outside through the 2nd part of Rocket. Luke Garlick will try and get back to the laps before upping the pace again. Yeah, that's a shame. Conor Garlick then out of contention for a good result. Now Harry Mansion on the tail of Matt Shaw here as they go through Rocket out, and Mansion might have just got himself an overlap here on the tail of Matt Shaw here as they go through Rocket out, and Mansion might have just got himself an overlap here into Peel. No, not quite. Matt Shaw managing to close the door. This, of course, is now the battle for 4th position. At least pick up a class podium at the end of what's been a very up and down weekend.
Yeah, that will certainly be the case. He's going to try and push as hard as he dares. Noble's trying to give Harry Mansion a bit of a headache here, running towards the first part of Rocket. And they're not in the same class, but again, this will be for track position and for a bit of pride. All closing up, a little tap in the tail once again, and once more, that's a concertina effect, because Shaw almost got backed himself up into Mansion. There's a bit of contact between them, then Mansion got through. Look at James Taylor. I wrongly thought he was out to pinch it down towards the final corner for the last time this weekend. He is going to emulate Mike Taylor. You cannot stop Mackenzie Douglas one bit at Anglesey, that's for sure.
4 wins from 4 for Mackenzie Douglas in the Protyre Motorsport Ginetta GT Championship.
That's not a bad weekend. How do you top that?
I mean, it's been pretty awesome. You know, massive thanks to the team. I think we're a bit of a dream team at the minute, so just keep it going forward and, yeah, over the moon.